Shalom, family trendsetter. All praises be to the Most High Power Hashem. Salam alaikum to my Muslim brothers and sisters. Now, I won't be long on this video, but there's something that's been resting on my spirit, and I think I want to share it with y'all. Now, for those of you who've been with me for a while, at least 2 or 3 years back, I had told y'all a story when I was living. Well, I'm not going to even disclose the location that I was living in, but when I was younger, I used to hustle. You know what I mean? Trying to make a living. When I say hustle, I'm not talking about selling drugs for you inquisitive minds who want to know. But I was hustling. I was a hustler, and I used to do what I had to do to make ends meet for my family. And there was an occasion. I'm going to briefly go through what occurred. There was an occasion where I was held up by two of my so-called people. I say so-called people because so-called black people, right? We're definitely not black. We're different shades of brown, and there's no such thing as a white man. They're different shades of red. But anyway, it so happened that it was two of my people, right? Actually from my country, that held me up to rob me, and I believe their intention was to right after robbing me, to take me out, to kill me. And I guess because of the reputation that I had with the crew that I affiliated with, the reputation that we had, so they felt like I would have retaliated. Just giving y'all a little bit about my business, my life story. And the reason why I'm telling y'all this, I want to explain to y'all what led me to this point of my life. There's been like at least 4 attempts on my life. Okay. So in that occasion, in that instance, I'm trying to be articulate, but I would just rock with it the way I know how, right? Because I'm not very articulate. I'm Jamaican, so I be trying to speak this dumbass slave language given to us by the Englishman. So just bear with me. But anyway, that time when it occurred, something supernatural occurred in my life. It was 2 occasions where I would say the Most High, right, the gods of all God, intervened and brought me to this point of my life. The first time was very, very supernatural. Now, I shared the story with y'all before, but for my new subscriber, I want to share it with y'all again. Now, y'all probably won't believe me, which is okay, because they said truth is stranger than fiction anyway. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't believe me if it didn't happen to me either. But when they accosted me in the alleyway, right, to rob me and then possibly take my life, I remember literally like going limp. My knees buckled, you know what I mean? And because almost like I felt like my life was about to snatch before me. And you know how they say when you're gonna meet death, your life flashed before you. And in this instant, it didn't really flash before me, but I felt like my energy was drained. And I remember when my knees buckled, right, I seen this apparition, this life force, right? And it appears to come from me, literally came from my body, because I'm going to assume maybe that probably was my soul, who knows? But I remember seeing, I think it was 2 or 3 distinct, like, it's almost like, I can't really explain it, family. It's almost like energy being, like light being. It was weird. It was like, if I had to guess, that there was about maybe, I say they because that's the apparition. That what appears to me. And I don't know if I was a block. I don't know what it was, but I'm going to explain something to y'all, family. Truth really is stranger than fiction, because I know I experienced this. It's documented, even with law enforcement, that this occurred. But not maybe in the way I'm explaining to y'all, because, of course, to tell law enforcement some shit like this, they're going to be like, yeah, right. But anyway, I seen 3 distinct figures, and it appears to came from me, because my knees buckled. I felt like somebody just, like a balloon, you let the air out. That's how I felt. I fell to the ground, right after they took what they took from me, and the dude was about to, he put around in a chamber. He was about to take me out. You know what I mean? And I just felt me buckle. I don't know if I was just weak. I don't know what it was, but I remember seeing these 3 distinct figures, light force, bright fucking light. This shit was so bright, and it was actually beautiful. And I remember they just came out of nowhere. I suspect it came from me, because I remember, like, when I fell to the ground, I looked, and it, like, this thing just came from in front of me. And family, I kid you not, and I know this shit, I don't like telling the story, especially on the internet and shit, because you know, it might be people listening that actually know shit like this exists, and they might want to come see me. You know what I mean? Do experiment on me. But I'm gonna tell y'all. And I remember these life force literally start doing work on these two individuals. I mean, like tearing their ass. I mean, like I don't know what they was doing to them, but it was drawing blood. They was screaming and yelling, and you know, I seen one of them like literally just fling against the wall and all these laceration on him, and I'm looking in awe, like what the fuck, you know what I'm saying, like what's going on? And I remember like for like a brief moment, I looked up and I seen this lady like looking outside her window. She witnessed what occurred. And she was like, oh my God. She kept saying, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I can't believe this shit. And she just kept saying, and I looked up at her and I'm looking at the thing that, you know, these life force. I don't know what they are. Angels, fucking angels, right? Whatever they were. And they was tearing these niggas up. And I remember after, I say it probably last, if I had to guess, probably like no more than 45 seconds. They was screaming. And then I'm on the ground. I'm like literally like in shock, just watching what was taking place. And I remember this dude. First, a dude came and this other lady came, and she was like, "Oh my God, call the police, call the police." And this dude was like crawling. One dude was like unconscious. They was bleeding, and I'm on the floor too. So I remember when one of the dude came up to me. And I try not to I try to make it like vague because I don't want to give too much, because in case, you never know who's listening. But I remember one dude came up to me like, yo, you alright, man? Because I guess I was the only one that was really conscious. I mean, there was blood on me, but it wasn't my blood. It wasn't, it was their blood. And he was like, you alright? And I was like, I was in shock. I couldn't even speak. I was like, you know what I mean? And I don't know how long it was after, but the police came. They had what they call project cops, right? These are actually, actual law enforcement, actual police, slave patrol. They're cops, but they're assigned to the projects. And I remember them coming and guns drawn, and they first came to me because the other two guys was in bad shape, right? And they came to me and they had their guns trained on me. It was asking me questions like what happened, and first they told me hands up, put your hands against behind your back, and I'm sitting down like and they wasn't sure what the fuck to think, because all three of us was on the floor, blood was on me, but it wasn't my blood, and they was trying to ask me questions like what happened, who did this, and where's the other accomplices. I don't remember, it was years back, you know what I mean, where other accomplices is, and they thought I was like it was a gang related incident and whatever. But the good thing about it is that beside the two guys, right, they had fire, they had their guns. I use the word firearm because I'm a legal. I'm able to carry a firearm legally. So with training they teach you not to use the word gun. They say use the word firearm. So that's why I'm using the word firearm. But anyway, they two guns was beside them and had blood on it and all that. And one guy was like, he was conscious, but the other guy was literally unconscious. And they asked me who did this, and they thought it was a gang-related thing. They thought I had something to do with it. And I'm like, no, officer. I said, listen, it wasn't me. And then the lady from upstairs, she came down, and she was trying to explain the situation. And I could tell she was struggling with it because it's hard to explain to tell a police, oh, it was a ghost, or or whatever the fuck. And she was like, it wasn't him, and it was, and late. The officer was asking her like, so who was it then? Who was it? And she said, whoever it was, they ran, like she covered for me. But me and her, we knew what we saw. She looked at me and she was like, but in the hood, you don't really talk, you know what I mean? And she was like, they ran, and then they got on their radio and they start, putting out whatever they call for fire. That's what they said, fire rescue, whatever, some code, whatever, fire rescue. So they came, and I remember one of the dude that was actually conscious, he was just staring. He was looking at me like he seen a ghost. He wasn't speechless. But the other guy, he was alive, but I don't know if he would ever made it to us. I mean, that dude was in bad shape, right? So I had to wind up going down to the precinct and shit like that. They had me down there for like almost maybe 12, 13 hours, man, just interrogating me, asking me questions. And I told them the same thing. I said, look, I was in the alleyway, You know, these dudes tried to rob me. Some other people came. I just said some other people came, and they came to my aid. I don't know who they are, and they was bent on it like gang related, and I knew who it was. And I mean, it was a mess. But what kind of helped me out was that lady. You know, that lady actually just she stood fast. She was like, no, I'm telling you, I was witness. I was upstairs. I've seen what happened, and up to this day, she never. I don't know. I don't think she never mentioned, you know, spirit or whatever. You know what I'm saying? At least I don't think she did. You know what I'm saying? I don't think she would anyway, because who would believe that? And ever since that occurred, man, that literally changed my life. It started changing my life for the better. That's when I started to realize that, you know, there are supernatural beings. Now I believe in quote unquote God. You know what I'm saying? I used to be a Christian. I was a backslider. So when that occurred, I thought it was like the Most High. I never used to use him as the Most High. I used to say God. I thought it was God like giving me a sign that I need to stop what I was doing. And, you know, he gave me pretty much like a second chance. You know what I mean? And I never really followed up with the two dudes, what happened to them, you know what I'm saying? I just left it alone because I was still going through, like, I'm telling you, family, for maybe like about almost 8 to 9 months, I was just going through this, like, it was almost like, what they call that thing, PTSD, just to keep, you know, recalling what occurred. I try to forget about it, man, but it just kept, you know, because what I saw was like supernatural. And that's why when people say they see UFO or a ghost or a spirit, I believe that shit because I know what I saw. You know what I'm saying? And I'm black. And usually white people experience this shit. And I experience that shit as a so-called black man. So I know, you know what I'm saying, shit is out there. I don't know what's out there, but I know stuff is out there. So that was one incident. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up, right, family, because if you notice, I haven't been really making any videos. And, like, for the last couple of months, man, I've been having, like, these experiences, man, like ringing in my ears. You know, some people call it ascension symptoms. And, you know, like, I've been like going into days and I'm seeing things, family. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, family. I saw some shit today, right? That I'm gonna tell y'all, yo, something is coming. Something is coming. Remember, back in 2018, I'm gonna bring this up again. I know I've said it several times. When I told y'all, I predicted that something in 2019 major was gonna happen that was gonna affect the whole world. And come to find out, you remember what occurred, right? The pandemic came about, and then remember right after that, I made a video that's saying that somebody on the world stage that was gonna die, and one of my, well, I wouldn't say subscriber, well, somebody that responded in the comment section say, well, people die every day. But I would say, no, not like this. This person was gonna be somebody significant. And right after I made that video, maybe what, 4 or 5 days later, that Prince nigga died, Philip, that devil died, remember? So I want y'all to understand, family, that the Most High, I think the Bible stated that he was going to give visions and dreams to people. I don't know who was going to get it, the young or the old, but he was going to get visions and dreams. So I'm saying this to say that I had a vision today, right? For many of y'all, this would have been the Shabbat, you know, and it was Saturday or Friday sundown, Saturday sundown. I had a vision earlier today of something major that's going to happen. And I keep using the word major because a lot of things that's happening every day is major, but there is going to be something climactic that's going to happen between now and October, right? Possibly even before then, but between now and October, family, y'all better get ready because the life is not going to be the way it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping that I'm wrong about what I've seen, but so far those last two vision that I had was dead on. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna let y'all know right now, between now and October of this year, 2022. We are going to witness something that we have never ever witnessed in our entire life, and it's going to be life-changing for many of us. For some of us, it's going to be actually a good thing, but for many of us, and I say us, me included, because I don't know my stance with the Most High. I try to do my best to follow law, statutes, and commandments of God, tell you as best as I can. But you know, I don't know my stance, but I know that the Most High is going to deliver, or whoever, the Anunnaki or whatever you want to call it. The deliverers, they're gonna come, and they ain't gonna be the motherfucking Jesus Christ either. Jesus Christ, he ain't coming. You know what I'm saying? But there are gonna be people that's not raptured. I wouldn't even use the word raptured, but the Most High is gonna deliver some of us from what trials and tribulation that's to come. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, I would say everybody at the sound of my voice, y'all should get ready for what's coming, because you don't know if you're going to be one of those people that's going to be delivered. When I say deliver, I don't know in what way he's going to deliver us. You know, Christian might say the rapture. I don't believe in the rapture shit because that shit was written by man. You know, as a matter of fact, I wouldn't even say that, because what they have done, they have taken prophecy from our record and they have put it into their book, the Helio-Biblos Bible, right? The one that y'all refer to as a holy book. They put that shit into their book, and a lot of y'all believe that the Bible, technically it is our record, but it's not our book. You know what I'm saying? That's their book, because there are many references. You have the Gentiles and the heathens reading from the same motherfucking book. So how could that be our book? You feel what I'm saying? Just understand what I'm trying to explain to y'all. But y'all better get ready, family. So I would say start literally preparing for a disaster, right? Start stacking up on food items. I always tell y'all this on many of my videos, right? Stack up with food items. Start preparing for the winter. You know what I'm saying? To be without power, because what's coming is going to take out the power grid. Hopefully, like I said, I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. So far, I've been dead on. So again, you know, and the reason why I even mentioned that story, because if something like that could have happened to me as a so-called black man, a hustler, right, a so-called gangster back then, and changed my life to today, where I'm actually serving the Most High, turned my life around, I would say 360. You know what I mean? The things I used to do, I don't do anymore. I don't hold anymore. I used to be a womanizer. I used to love women, drinking, smoking, not weed, because I don't like weed. I smoke cigarette. I haven't smoked cigarette in almost 13 years. You know what I mean? Or maybe more than that, when I came into the truth. You see what I'm saying? So I know that the Most High had a plan for me. So I don't know how this video actually came out, because I am driving, but I'm just telling y'all, you know, at this point right now, don't even worry about the messenger. You know what I'm saying? How I'm delivering the shit. Just listen to the message as best as you can and apply it to however you want to apply. But I would say, once again, especially if you have youngins, you know what I'm saying, young babies. Like I just had a new, you know, my son is he's a year now. And I'm looking at it every time I see him. I'm like, man, this is like the wrong time for him to be here, because, you know, I just lost a son in September of last year. You know what I mean? So it's almost like the Most High gave me my son back. I kid you not, my son today looked just like my son that was murdered in New York, in the Bronx. You feel what I'm saying? I'm pointing that out. You know what I'm saying? That devil think he got away, but he didn't. He got caught up. You know, he got caught out there. You know what I'm saying? What goes around comes around, right? So at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, all praise be to the Most High. He got his just deserved. You know what I'm saying? He got his. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't even from me. I didn't have to touch him. It just, I had to put a curse on his ass, and it was done. But anyway, family, take what you can take from this video. And with that, I say shalom.